Here. Here. Agenda item 3, superintendent presentation of tentative amended budget. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Good evening, school board and guests. Good to be with you tonight. Take a minute to go through our tentatively amended budget that I'm proposing for you tonight, that we'll be discussing at this point and then be an action item later in the regular meeting. So you have a packet in front of you. If you want to take a look at this, I will go through it digitally, but you've also got something hands-on that you can take with you, and I thought that might be a helpful. This is just a brief synopsis, snapshot of some things that I thought we could go through, and then when I get done with the presentation, happy to entertain any questions that you may have and the public. All right, so let me get to the PowerPoint here. You want to open that up, turn to your first page. All right, so the first page, which I've got pulled up, that is basically your tentative amended budget. And this is just the beginning of the narrative. And the narrative is basically just letting you know that the reason we do this has to do with compliance for administrative regulations. So there's a law related to this. There's also best practice for school finances. When we amend our budgets, it's to provide updates and revenues. That could be local, state, federal expenditures, and any other fund transfers during the fiscal year. All of those of which we had some changes since our guessing back in August. In August, you don't have a lot of information. You're just kind of going on what you think you are getting from the state, and you don't get your information on evidence-based funding until August. So a lot of things are holding until then. So you are building your budget on assumptions. When you get to this point in the year, you've got closer to actuals. And then we'll find out exactly where we end up when we have our auditors come in a little bit later. So that's the purpose. We're looking at June actuals versus last September assumptions. You have a balanced budget proposed for you tonight for your amendment, and then a little bit of timelines there just to note that we've made this available for public view since May the 19th. There's a 30-day requirement there for that by statute, and this must be approved by June 30th for State Board of Ed. So if that gets approved tonight, I will be submitting this and uploading this to the State Board of Education. So that's a little bit about your timelines. Moving forward here, the next page, again, looking at timeline that I've got up on the board. I just kind of broke down what a budget looks like not month by month, but just basically the month indicators that you have to be observant for with your budget. So you've got information there about July, August, most of you know about September, so that's a good resource for you. And then October through June is when I do a little something extra. You see my cash flow sheets that I like to do at least quarterly that I share with you or the finance committee. And then I look at those monthly to kind of basically monitor the progress throughout our fiscal year. In January, you approved me to work on the budget for the next year. So that way you're not doing it. And then in May, that's when I make a determination for amended budget timeline. I look at May and I determine if an amended budget is necessary based on what balance is impacted by the revenues and expenditures. And then we set a tentative date, which we've done, and that's why we're here tonight. And then in June, we do our postings. There's information there as far as, again, the timelines and the requirements, making sure that we meet all these. I just want to say thank you for pushing the meeting back a week. That's helped me, to get a better budget amendment for you tonight, okay? All right, so moving forward, the next part of this is going to be your tax levy timeline. I won't get into that tonight, but I think it's a helpful resource for you. All right, so looking here up on the board, when you look at page 7 in your book, this is the FY 23 and 24 goals, which are utilizing June and July budgets because the next fiscal year starts in July. And one of the things that we've been trying to capitalize on right now is facility improvements and maintenance needs for our school district. Everything that we are seeing as far as needs assessment is a lot is related to facilities. I've listed there a lot of the different things that we're looking at these 2 months. Some are happening in June on the FY 23 budget, which I'm talking about tonight. Some will move forward to FY 24. So I've listed those there for you so you have an idea of our targets that John Sins is basically overseeing as our coordinator. You'll also notice that there's the transportation fund down there on page 7. I'm going to talk more about this from our audit that we did a self-audit to see if there are ways that we can do more with claiming expenditures through the transportation claim. I'm going to talk more about that at the next July meeting. But just so you know, an example of that would be we're doing some work in our grade school parking lot about filling seal coating, and also striping. And because our buses are parked there, we're able to claim that, which we didn't know that till our audit. So, for example, that's a $45,000 expenditure. Instead of just taking it out of operations and maintenance, if we can take it out of transportation, at least we can get some reimbursement for that over the next 10 years. Okay, so at least you get something back, which if you just pay for it on O&M, you can't. But you have to make sure that in some way that whatever item you're using, you have to tie it in and be able to defend if that is related to transportation. Okay, so that was really helpful to learn that. Moving on, you've got O&M fund, of course, the new gym floor and those types of things, health, life, safety fund, high school main entrance, transportation fund. So I've just kind of listed some of the improvements we're looking at for our goals. Next page is page 9 in your packet. You're looking at FY23 beginning fund balances. These are basically your reserves. Okay, so it's not what we're operating on, but they're there in case you need to dip into that. Okay, so that kind of breaks that down for you. I think one of the neat things that we have for us that's a benefit was our working cash. You always want to be 6 to 9 months of operating in case of a crisis. We're in that range. You've heard that from Leslie the past few years, so that's been good. Just a little snapshot there on page 10 about revenues. It's a summary of local, state, federal. One of the things I would just point out to you, this is very different. It doesn't look like this normally. And those of you that have been on the board for a while, for example, typically your local is going to run anywhere from 40 to 45% as far as your revenues. Your state, 40 to 45%. And then you're looking anywhere from 10 to 20 for federal. Well, you can see that is very different right now. And that federal amount there is different because of all of the ESSER money that we've been given federally. We've got ESSER 1, which is closed out. We've got ESSER 2, we've got ESSER 3. And we're starting to close all these ESSERs down. And then ESSER 3 will close, help me out, 25. So, but the point is that what you're seeing now, this is not normal. And there's going to be a point where some of the things that we're utilizing those federal dollars for now through the ESSER funds eventually is going to have to fold back into the district. Okay. But we're capitalizing on it now, which is good. Okay. All right. So a little bit more of a breakdown in terms of state local grant revenues. Ed Fund FY23. That just lists some of the grants that we've been able to access throughout the year. As you look down through there, just to kind of give you an explanation on some of the acronyms that we use, because Mr. Smith and I were talking, educators are probably the world's worst on that. But STEM, that's your science, technology, engineering, and math. The second bullet, ROE, that's your Regional Office of Education. SEL is Social Emotional Learning Grant. Okay. The district, state, okay, that's a school. The third bullet is SMPG, School Maintenance Project Grant. That's a matching grant that we attained again for OGS. And then the state, that's Preschool for All, PSFA. That's a Preschool for All grant that we get. And so that kind of gives you an idea of some things. At the bottom, I think everybody knows what PTO is. That gave us some money for the playground. All right, so in terms of revenues, just some things that you're aware of. We got our local tax payments. Those have been received this past year, which is good. Evidence-based funding dollars that we've been receiving. We had additional 168,000. That puts us at about 71% student adequacy for our state funding. So the goal for the state has been to get all schools in Illinois at 100% adequacy funding eventually. They've not put us there yet, but that's their plan. Okay, so that's all based on the governor and his budgets. Do you think we're looking to see, Diamond's not here this week, but we're tracking to see if we still have one more transportation payment coming in. If not, that'll put us a little bit short, and I basically allowed that concession in the amendment. All right, more federal grant revenues that we've had. This is Title 1, 2, and 4, ESSER 2 and 3. That's basically a lot of what Michelle oversees. You know, communication between her and I gives you an idea of the total amount that we've worked through. And just to point out, this is the ESSER, that COVID-related learning loss requirement. You may have heard in the news, there's a school district in Illinois that has run into some trouble because they did not utilize their ESSER funds with compliance. That's not a situation you want to be in. You remember just as a side note, when people were upset, maybe because we had the 2.5 million, why weren't we maybe building a gym, something of that nature? It wasn't COVID related. So we followed compliance. We crossed our T's and dotted our I's all the way through. We've got the plan out on the website and all that. So we've done everything we need to do. So we're in a good place there. And we built an amazing new wing for our 7th and 8th graders. All right, expenditures. Just to give you a summary breakdown there, what's been spent on instruction, support services. The third bullet is OGU on page 14. That's other governmental units. Okay, so what is that? Well, that's about 580,000 there, and SPED, that's special education. So that's going to be our working with base in Middle Fork. So that's what MF is for, Middle Fork/base, and then CE is College Express. College Express is what we're doing with Denver Community College for students for the vocational tech ed. Okay. Contingency, usually always put something in for contingency at the beginning of the year. For example, maybe you've got a special education student that you anticipate that may need to go into residency. That's a strong expenditure. You want to have that allocated. Well, I put it back to 0 on the amendment because we didn't have to use it this year. Okay. All right. So continuing on with the narrative on page 15, the two big things that you'll see in the amended budget is that we ended up, when we get evidence-based funding dollars, as that comes in, you can use that in your ed fund. You can use some of it for operations and maintenance. Okay. So we basically always filter some of that evidence-based funding money into O&M. What we ended up doing was we were projecting some of the maintenance and repairs and things that we wanted to do, things like the high school gym floor, those types of things. We knew that by the end of the year, we wouldn't be in the place we wanted to be financially because of these additional expenses that we're trying to fix and repair. So we allocated more money out of the ed fund from evidence-based funding, which is our state grant. It's the old general state aid, and moved that into O&M to strengthen that fund to help us with these things this summer. That's probably the biggest thing that you'll see within the amendment. Okay. All right. Transportation fund, just some information there about how that looks a little bit different. I kind of talked about that already. We tried to pull in some additional things into our transportation fund. For example, the transportation director is about $25,000 total when you look at a salary portion of that person that was utilized in the tort fund. We pulled that out of the tort fund and moved it back into transportation because we found out that if we do that, we can get a percentage of that money back. So it's just another way to get something back for your dollar, which we weren't being able to capitalize on before. Working cash I talked about. The tort fund and social security fund, we want to make sure that we're not overtaxing. So undertaxing or to keep that fund reserves. The goal is to try to maintain a $200,000 level. And again, that is just, I talked with Russ Lee yesterday about this amended budget with him, and he's pleased with what we're doing. And again, just reiterating the same thing there on those funds. Bonds and debt, that's old information, but just a reminder of what we've done in the past to help save our taxpayers money through the restructuring of our bonds that we did back in September 21. All right, so that's the end of that. What I want to do is I want to focus on this other sheet now, if I could. Well, I'm going to pull up and finish with this one. All right. So this is probably my favorite sheet. You have the State Board of Education summary in there, which is what we have on our website, part of what I'll be submitting to the State Board of Ed. But the document that helps me the most is this one that we're looking at up here. So I like to know past, present, future as best as I can. And you've seen this document before, but what I have before you tonight is just a reminder, as you look through this across the top, start with looking at, for example, your ed fund is your biggest fund, your biggest operating fund. So when you look, if you go back to the reason this is gray, this is before I had the opportunity and privilege of being at Oakwood. Okay. And then everything beyond here has to do with the time that I've been able to be here. So you can see how the ed fund has grown through our budgeting over time. That's important to look at because now what we've done is, as you scroll through this and look across with your ed fund, you can see the growth in those reserves over time and what the amended budget is looking like here in column L. So what that does is, obviously that positions us better for strategic plan and future things that we would want to try to do as a school district, okay? We've not had that opportunity financially without just borrowing short-term or long-term. So now we're in a better place financially. So I just kind of wanted to point out the history and kind of moving forward. I've talked about each of these funds to some degree. You can see that the loss in the ed fund has to do with the fact that ed and O&M, it's basically just moving money from one fund, from one bucket of the ed fund and moving it over to your O&M fund so that we could take care of the work that we wanted to do this summer, okay? Because you can see when you look back at how we've ended up in past years and where our fund has been starting out, it's been very different. Now, the 2.905 for the beginning balance, just as a reminder, in the O&M, operation and maintenance or your building fund, remember that was the $3 million that we borrowed. We got that in working cash. You cannot spend out of your working cash fund. So we had to then do the resolution, move that over then to O&M, and then we moved it back into capital to pay for these things. Okay. So really, at the bottom line is what we should see at an ending balance when we get all done, said, and paid for. We should be around $713,000 in our O&M fund, which is stronger than we've ever been. Okay, so it's just a matter of taking the same dollars and just placing them in different buckets for the needs of the school district and our students. So those are probably the two biggest things. And then as I move down to the bottom, you can see that I put this through the grid and we have a balanced budget. Obviously, my projections are that the very bottom that we'd be around 442,000 to the good, but that's just a projection. We'll know actuals after Russ Lee and Associates comes in and does an audit for us. So, and hopefully we'll get that information back in October and not like November like last year. That was a little bit late. So, all right. So a lot of talking here, but important information. So this is the tentative amended budget that I'm proposing to you and to the public for consideration based on the actual numbers as we finish out the end of the school year. And I'll be recommending that to you at the regular meeting later tonight for your approval, so we can move forward and I can get moving back on the FY24 budget. So at this point, Mr. Smith, I'm happy to entertain any questions that the board may have or the public. Thank you for listening. It's a lot of numbers. My only regret with your packet, you don't have any graphs in there. You got to have some pictures. I didn't have time to get the pictures, so I apologize for that. I'll do better next time. All right.
Got a motion to close the public hearing at 5:34 p.m.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Woodard to adjourn at 5:34 p.m. Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote.
Okay. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and call this regular meeting to order at 5:35 p.m. Roll call, please.
Hicks. Here. Janeski.
Here.
Flynn. Ludwig. Here. Plattner.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Woodard.
Agenda item 3, please stand and join me in saying the pledge of allegiance.
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Then item 4, public participation, recognition of guests and communication. Do we think we had any public participation? Do we have guests? One communication the board did receive was from the staff of Oakwood Junior High School. They thanked us for providing a food truck to cake a lunch. It was delicious. Just wanted to pass along that correspondence to everyone. Agenda item 5, consent agenda. I hope everybody had a chance to review the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Woodard, second by Hicks to approve the consent agenda items as submitted. Hicks? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote.
Mr. Mayor, do we have any FOIA requests this morning?
None.
Sure. Agenda item 7, OEA report. I don't think Mr. Miller is here tonight. Ms. Grimm, do you have anything to pass on?
I did think of one thing. If you guys remember right, I went on behalf of the association in April over to Springfield to lobby about the cut of our Project Success program. And a couple of things came out of that. One, a national group came and did a study. They only chose 5 states to do it, and Illinois was one of them. And the Vermilion County Project Success program was so successful, they were one of the ones picked. And I was invited to represent Oakwood, part of because of the lobbying in Springfield. So we had a great afternoon yesterday. Talked about what made our program successful, community partnerships, the impact that the cuts were having. And I think, did Kimberly get a hold of you?
She did.
That there is a possibility that there is a grant through ISD. It's not probably going to be a guaranteed 5 years, but we could have some form of program back. And I believe we will know July the 10th. So junior high and high school, it's nice and it's important, but that grade school, we learned during COVID, there is a huge shortage of daycare in our area. And that is a major concern. And the guy was so nice, the federal guy goes, well, could you guys fundraise? And Kimberly was like, Kimberly David, who's the new director, she said, we did a huge fundraiser. It took us a year. We made $12,000. Like, you really can't fundraise that kind of program. But hopefully something comes out of that. But I just thought it was neat that Oakwood was invited to participate in this big national study. So good.
Thanks for presenting us. Board committee reports. We have no reports this month. Administrator reports. And
Right, so look at a few things. I'll keep it brief. A little bit later, you're going to hear from Michelle on the consolidated plan. This routine mention of information that will be approved for later tonight. So I'll leave that to her. I think just some things to consider here moving forward. All right, so as I mentioned before tonight, I'll be asking for you to approve the tentative budget amendment that was presented. Michelle's consolidated plan a little bit later, quite a few action items. There's also a recommendation for our new transportation director and for his employment, as well as the transportation department manual, which is new for this year. So we do have Mr. Roger Witt with us tonight. So Witt, recommending you later. Thank you for being here tonight, sir. Mr. Witt has also been in already to do some training on the new TransFinder software class. Spent 2 full days, he and Shannon Wallace training. That's ready to go for August. You also have a restraint timeout. This is an Illinois State Board of Education restraint timeout reduction plan that all school districts are required to do. You've already approved that document. We had to do an amendment. School districts were all required to do an amendment. It's a minor amendment, so that is for you tonight, your consideration and action. You saw information about the health insurance renewal with Clemens and Associates. So obviously that is very good news, being in that 5% range, because I think we all expected it to be high in the teens. It's been a tough year for us. It's coming off a great year. So that's really good news. Ag 3 Circles grant, I've sent that in and submitted that. So we'll be getting approximately $6,800 to help our ag teacher, the extra work that she does in the summer for extended time. We also are working on a teacher. What was that called, Michelle? You were on the webinar yesterday. I caught the tail end of it. Graham, you gonna talk about that later?
I can't. You want me to do that one?
Okay. So there's a grant that's come out for certain school districts, and Oakwood was provided the opportunity to submit a grant to help us with some of the teacher vacancies that we have. We can talk a little more generally about that later. So that's good. I think it's approximately around $180,000 potentially. Joint annual conference, November 17th through the 19th. If you're interested in going, I really need to know as soon as possible. January will be my preference, so I can get reservations made. So take a look at that. You do not have to attend all 3 days. And 1 day, 2 days, whatever. I just need to know your intentions, and I will take care of reservations for you, registrations.
Or you said January, you thinking July? Did
Uh,
you say January?
did I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thinking
I've got a
July.
lot of numbers lately. I apologize. But yeah, that will be July. I would like to know that. Then it will be coming forward. Thank you. Board policy update. We've got a first reading tonight that will lead to approve in July. So I know we have a policy committee, but I think it's good for all board members to be aware of policy adjustments. And so I'll be recommending that we take care of that in July. One of the things that I talked with Mr. Hurd about has to do with, we just came off of elections with our school board. And just as a reminder for consideration, the next election in a couple of years has some interesting dynamics, because of where we're at with appointees and that kind of thing. So it's just important to I just want to remind you as a board, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that terms expire in 2025. And then you've got, that would be 2 left for 2027. So the important thing is knowing that in the future election, that as people are running, you want people to look for your terms. Otherwise, things are getting a little bit tricky. So it's nothing that needs to be dealt with now, of course, but I just didn't want to be negligent and not just bring that to your attention. Okay. Let's see here. Financial study session. So I would like to make available to any school board member. I've already talked to Mr. Woodard. He's approached me. If any school board member would like, particularly anyone that's new to the board, I would think, kind of a budgets 101, school finance 101 session, I'm more than happy to do that with you. We just want to keep it to 2 people, no more than 2, so it's not a board meeting. And then if you let me know, we can do it 2, I can do it 1-on-1, whatever's good for you. I'll get the documents out and go through it, and it'll give us a chance to ask questions and things like that. And I think that would hopefully be helpful to you. I look forward to that. So I don't, if you're interested, not really done that, kind of one-on-one with the board, so we have to do that. So just really just let me know when would be a good time in July or August, or August, whatever works for you. Just
I'll make myself available tonight.
if you 2 want to get together on a time and then just let me know, I'll make it happen. Okay, I look forward to that. So we'll do that financial study opportunity. Coach's Athletic Handbook. There's a first reading on that to take a look at for approval in July. And then you also have a sheet there in front of you on district vacancies. So that is all I have, unless you have any questions. I will mention on the vacancies, just so I didn't put that on your sheets. I apologize. The Oakwood Elementary School, your phys ed health teacher, we're basically filling out the long-term sub. We have, and it's been a very successful opportunity for us in the district. That individual, we have to keep that posted, but that person is going to be coming back to the sub. just so you know. And then, see, the grade school, we're still looking for special ed and band course teacher. We've got a few coaching sponsored positions there. And then at the high school, special ed teacher, that really is filled. Long-term sub, which we recommend tonight, who was in that role again this past year. Special ed's a rough one. I mean, it was rough when the pipeline was good. So it's just really hard. So thankfully we found someone that we use that being recommended tonight, that we Carrie Baker. And our science teacher, as you know, at the high school, we got Brendan Watson there. It's a long-term sub. He's enrolled in Apple programs. Continuing to make a commitment to him. So he gets licensed. So all that to say, as you know, based on our past work, we're growing our own people as much as we can. And we've been successful at that so far. So excited about the people. Is there a question?
Ms. Kimbrough.
All right, we'll start with the consolidated district plan. Each year we have to update it, and it was a huge update last year with bringing the junior high into the grade school. I kind of felt like it was a big one this year just because of the restructuring at the grade school and new admin really at the high school. So I did a needs assessment with all the teachers, and admin was gave me some input as well, and wrote the plan based on the needs for the district. And there were several categories. So there's student achievement is a big one, college and career professional development, safe learning, Title I. Those are the ones that I really focused on, and the needs assessment answered those kinds of questions. And I really did put into the plan that once everybody gets settled, there will be new things, and we're able to go in and amend. But we talked about different structures, like a different PBIS structure or a different just way of doing things that we won't know until we get situated in. So hopefully the generic part of writing that gives us some flexibility in our plan. That's kind of the goal with it. So I just gave you the highlights in each one. You have to go through and state your goals, how you got them, how you're going to measure them, that kind of thing for each of these sections. So basically, like I said, it's kind of an overview is there. The second thing I was going to talk about, because we get the original, like Title I, Title II, Title IV, ESSER grants, but the homeless grant is something that was new. And Lisa being in charge, we did get an actual grant, a federal grant. But what happened is the ROE also got a grant for homeless as well. So in the last, I would say 10 days, we spent about over $2,000. And I had to spend it, purchase, do an invoice, get them logged in to go. So first they gave us, can you spend $1,000 in 2 days? Yeah, I can do that. I can spend money like the best of them. So then that was good. Lisa, we kind of got on Amazon list to go. And then there was got another 500. Can you do another 500? Get that to me by Monday. Absolutely. So Friday, got it done to go. And then the last one is, okay, we had other schools that didn't spend money. Can you spend $1,400 before yesterday? Yesterday I had it. So anyway, we spent $1,400 more dollars. So with that came an abundance of shoes and clothes and personal hygiene items and laundry and you name it, just tag teaming on those lists. So we have decided to, I did purchase a couple cabinets and some totes and things like that, that we here at the unit office, it's so big that we will do the carryover for that. So if Erin needs something, hey, I got a kid that needs size 13 shoes and a couple sweat, that we have those resources there as well. So we will house some of it because I just didn't want to lose $2,000. She had to send it back, but there's no way I'm having her send back that money. So anyway, that was huge after already spending and filling up the room at the grade school. That looks terrific and is a wonderful thing. Now we've just added a stockpile to that, which is absolutely great. So I wanted to thank the ROE for that. And then I'll talk a little bit about the teacher vacancy grant. Now this is an interesting grant. And there was a webinar yesterday, and basically they said, we really don't know what this money is for, but if you're creative and we approve it, you can spend it. So the webinar actually lasted, I would say 10 minutes. And the questions lasted about 15 minutes because they were a little confused. So basically they're saying, I'm gonna give you $185,000 if you can figure out how to retain teachers, get teachers to work there. But that's basically, you're recruiting and you're retaining. But they didn't really give, you could do signing bonuses, and you could do some kind of stipends, and you could do promotion of the building. And I don't know, it was just, there's a lot of gray. I'm like a black and white girl, like, just tell me what I can do, I'll spend it, what I can't. But they really encouraged you to get creative on how you can get teachers in the door, and then you can get teachers to stay. But the one interesting thing that, like, several people asked, it is a teacher grant. It is not a social worker. It is not a cook. It is not a custodian. It is not an administrator. It is a teacher grant, and only funds can be spent on teaching. So some of the questions, which I thought were interesting, is that they helped people wanting to become a teacher, help with student loans. They offered the signing bonus, or to say, you know what, we'll pay for your fees to take the teacher test. But anything that you have somebody do like that, you have to turn around and do a contract that they will stay with you for that. So the state board is going to give sample contracts. So if, like, a Brendan Watson, I'll just use him as an example, who's working towards a science degree, that if we helped him out in any way financially through this grant, that part of the audit would be there is a contract associated with that he would sign. Some ask about 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It is a local decision on what you wanted to do with that. But some of them, like, if you had somebody who wanted a teacher but lived far away, you could help them with housing. That was one of the questions. Like, they really didn't say no on anything except for they need a speech pathologist and wanted to offer a bonus. They said that's not teaching. Social worker, not teaching. Nurse, not teaching. So it is just focusing on getting a certified or a person trying to be certified in that classroom. And the grant is based on how many unfilled positions by certified teachers, and then they were ranked, and that's who got it. And there was a formula. For the first time I've seen, like, a federal formula decided how state formula, how you got your money. So as of right now, I think Larry heard that there's a possibility that they might not do year 2 and year 3, but on the webinar yesterday, whatever money you got year 1, you will get year 2 and you will get year 3. So even if we were to fill our vacancies, it's still, we would go more of retaining versus recruiting for that. And I'll tell you what, these administrators have just, like, rocked it in the hiring, that if you looked at our empty and then you looked at our filled, oh my gosh, like, we look like whatever we do this year, we are successful, because where we started and where it went. The money is late coming out because they wanted a better plan of what to do with it, and they just thought it would look different in every school. So I love the idea of promoting your school to get people in. I feel like we could be a little bit creative with that. And I don't know, I have a bunch of ideas going through my head, and I'm the kind that, like, I will put it down and let them tell me no. Like, I don't, they probably won't. Let's try it. Let's put it in. Let's see what we can get. So once we get into July, I'm going to, like, hopefully we can all meet with the administrative team and kind of think of that, and then bring the union in, especially if we're going to do any kind of bonuses or stipends or whatever like that, because, but we really need to get some ideas on the table, because I'm sure, like, once you kind of think of it, then anyway, it's like writing a lot of grants. This is the one that, like, it's like they challenge you to, like, do something. So I don't know, but 185,000 3 years in a row is, like, absolutely wonderful. So anyway, that's that grant that I'll start working on.
Any questions from Ms. Kimbrough? Okay, high school. Ms. Smith, welcome.
Thank you. First, I wanted to, I know John Odell's not here, but I wanted to thank him. So you guys know how much help he provided to me with the transition. We have been in contact since I was hired in October, and he shared all of his documents with me. So that's been something that I couldn't replace, and I really appreciate that. And I wanted you to know that, you know, as he was leaving and retiring, he's still sharing and working with me. So that's awesome. If you go by the high school, we're doing a little bit of reorganization of the front office and some of the spaces in there. And John Siddings has been helping out a lot with that, getting some furniture moved and kind of cleaning out some things that haven't been updated in a while. And then Michelle and I might work on some ideas on how to spruce up the office a little bit as we kind of in that transition. I wanted to let you know that I have invited all of the high school staff to have individual meetings with me the first 2 weeks of July, if they so choose. I have about 15 staff members already signed up for the first 2 weeks. I'll offer those meetings again the first 2 weeks of August. I like to meet individually and just get feedback. It's really just to get to know you time. So I'm excited that the staff is ready to meet with me even in July of their time. Let's see. I've talked a little bit with Michelle about some PBIS programs and incentive programs for the high school students. And then I've been reviewing the data for failures for focusing on freshmen right now. And then I'll move to seniors, juniors, and sophomores. And one thing that I'd like to work with Mr. Steele on, and then also our counselor and social worker, is a plan for interventions for students who have a record of failures or who are not on track to graduate according to the state. So I've been kind of doing some data diving on that, and I'll be presenting some information to you on that as we get closer to the beginning of the school year. We also met with the athletic boosters last week, and I'll let secretaries get that information. That's all. Any questions?
Question on College Express and dual enrollment.
Okay.
I know as a parent that the communication a lot of times between my student and home sometimes is marginal at best. And I do know that my wife and I we're strong advocates of that program, of the College Express and dual enrollment. Could we, this coming year, with the change of guidance counselor, could we try to improve that communication with the parents and let them know how their student can become more heavily involved in that and work towards some more of those college credits?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I have done in the past is a monthly newsletter where I have a principal report, counselor report, AD, athletic director reports. I use more as the newsletter because I could also track how many people are looking at it, when they're looking at it, where they're looking at it, to try to promote things. One of the things that I do at the bottom of, I have done in the past at the bottom of the document, is put any applications, any college information, scholarships, different things like that. So I think that that'll be something in the counselor corner area that will definitely make sure that's one place that parents can find it, along with emails through Teacher Ease. And but the newsletter, I think, has been very beneficial for the community because it's not just the students that see it, it's the parents, community members, other administrators, and that's worked really well for me. I'm going to try it. If you have other suggestions, I'll take them.
And I'm willing to help you in any way.
Okay.
If it's something that, as a parent I can do, I certainly will help in any way I can. But he supposedly, I don't know, he missed it by 1 day, he said, or get his paper. So whether anything on it. So I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. Student performance feedback was really weak there as well. Like there's no way to really monitor how your student's doing. It's not on the parent portal.
I can tell you from Dawn that we don't get grades for that until the end of the semester. We get absolutely no grade updates or anything.
So that might be where you need to reach out to College Express, the people in the program, to start giving you some more regular feedback about students.
Okay, you're talking specifically from
When they're at the
From
ACC,
community college.
community
and they're
college.
off campus, are they showing up? Are they engaged? You know, I'm just reviewing the bills, and for the spring semester, the kids that we had that went, it cost the district $14,500. And I have no idea if they got a darn thing out, or if they were even showing up.
So, okay, so just so I'm clarifying, you are getting information from the high school, but you are not getting information from the community college
We are,
through the high school.
yes. So
Okay.
when that student leaves at noon or 12:30, they're checked out. They're no longer on campus at Oakwood High School.
Okay,
They are expected to transport themselves. The district does not provide transportation. Transport themselves to the ACC and engage in this program that we're paying $14,500 for per semester. And there's no feedback loop to find out, are they showing up or how are they doing? Are they engaged? And we get the grade basically what at the end of
The
the
end of the
semester.
semester,
Yeah.
a couple days before the end of the semester.
so
So-
I'll happily reach out and
Yeah,
find out if
parents
we
need a
can,
more regular feedback loop than
okay.
4 months.
I'll also try to get some information about what's happened in the past year and give you that information, and then I'll work with them on some type of a communication plan.
Yeah. Just something,
Absolutely.
you know, it doesn't have to be daily or monthly or weekly, but you know,
Sure, I
at least,
understand.
I mean, halfway through the semester, can we just check in and see, has my kid even been showing up? Are they engaged? What's going on, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Please and thank you.
Any questions from Ms. Smith? Thank you. Mr. Steele, welcome.
Thank you. So basically, you know, kind of settling in, and I kind of like Aaron said about Mr. Odell, I've been talking to Mr. Sheldon a lot. He's shared all documents with me as well. We text a lot back and forth or email each other. He gives me a lot of reminders, and it has been overwhelming, but very helpful. I've enjoyed it, you know, being in the office so far. I've met some of the staff. I've ran into Juice, I think, every day, morning, day, evening. And she's been a big help as well. I came in and she invited me to come in and meet some of the volleyball team as they were lifting one day, so I got to do that. I have been in contact with the fall coaches so far, and I want to meet with them starting next week. I feel like I met Juice enough, and I feel like we're on a really good contact. But I am going to meet with Coach Lee, and also our soccer coach, Eric, and also I need to contact the cross country coach. But I want to meet with them and just kind of see a goal in mind and our expectations, and I want to get rosters and all that, and also bus and transportation times to leave. Mr. Sheldon has already sent me his, so he's been very much on that. We also met, like Ms. Smith talked about, with the Booster Club and trying to build that back up. Kind of before COVID, it seemed like it was going in a good direction, but then after COVID, it's kind of fallen to the wayside in a way. And so we're trying to think of ideas on how to do that and how to get them around in the athletic events. We also talked about the Gatorade game, kind of preparing for that, and I need to contact the men's club. I also had an interview already with the new possible hire of the new golf coach, and met with him. Lyle Hitz, of course, resigned kind of right when I started coming in, and I've been in touch with Lyle a little bit, and he talked to me about Mr. Bushauer, and he's been I haven't met him personally, but just through emails and everything, he's been a nice help. And so, yeah, we met today with Miss Wallace again and talked about some things, and just kind of settling in and getting ready. I know they'll be here before I know it. Because from what I understand so far, the fall is pretty wild. So, but also in addition to that, I have been in contact with some ADs. They've contacted me about schedule changes, and so it's been interesting, but very good learning experience. so far.
Any questions, Mr. Steele? Thanks.
Thank you.
Grade school, pre-K through 8 principal, Ms. LaPennis.
So first I want to recognize Mrs. Wells, who this year moved into our math interventionist position. And she really has just gone above and beyond in that position and really pushed it to the level that has been a great support for our students. And I shared some of the growth points with you, and she averaged somewhere around a 20-point growth for each grade level that she works with, according to our math data. So she is just really amazing at looking at the data, seeing areas of need, and then being very fluid and flexible with changing those needs as they arise. So I'm very proud of her, and I felt like she needed a public shout out in regards to that. Tomorrow is the last day of summer school. That program has gone fabulously. Any student that was slated to complete summer school for promotion has done what they need to do, and things are looking great. Project success has been great as well. They've done a lot of fun activities, and the kids are excited to come each day. So we're thankful for that. I shared with you several documents in regards to plans for 7th and 8th grade with scheduling and houses. So I hope that was useful to see where we're moving forward, where we're going to. We are meeting with the staff on July 12th to talk about some of these things and get some feedback and suggestions in regards to that. I invite you guys to come see the trophy cases. They look amazing. We moved all the trophies from the junior high. We've got new signs in there. We've got jerseys and all kinds of great things. So they're very pleasing to the eye. If you want to come by, shoot me an email and I'll watch for you, and you can come check them out. Our banners for a conference are in. So we have wonderful banners that are going to go into the gym. I know John has already hung one of them up, and the rest should be up this month. So you'll definitely want to come check out the gym when that happens. And I think that is about it. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Phillips. K8, the pre-K8, assistant principal active.
Great. This was my first week of break and it feels weird. So I kind of feel disconnected right now, but I've worked on a couple different projects towards the end of May and into June. The first being that transition from the IESA so that we are recognized as a pre-K through 8 building. That has been successful. Check has cleared, so we are all good. And our name has been changed in the system. Nicole Johnson and I are both listed as AD, just so that we make sure that we get the information correctly until she officially takes over. So, but she's done a phenomenal job, and she's been working on getting all of the officials signed up for and all that. So everything's going really well with the sports piece. As Michelle mentioned, we have spent a lot of money here in a short amount of time, and you know that it's a passionate project for me. I try to keep data throughout the year with that $25,000 initial grant. And, you know, sometimes I give out shoes without recording it on my spreadsheet, but to the best of my ability, we have given out 72 pairs of shoes this school year, 30 lice kits, and over 60 jackets. So that was really thrilling for me. That room that we have is amazing. It's amazing to take the kids to shop in. Right now it's a hot mess, I'm not gonna lie. But it's amazing to take the kids and shop in, and having somewhere here at the district office will be nice too, just because then I can meet a family here too. And that way we're off of the school grounds too, and they don't feel funny sometimes if their student is in the building. So it's been phenomenal. Cannot thank the ROE enough. We were kind of struggling to what are we going to order when we got that last $1,400. So I reached out to a family that I knew needed some help. And that mom was so thankful because we ordered a specific shoe for her daughter, and knowing that they have that shoe and that's one less thing that they have to worry about when they start the school year is wonderful. So thank you to Michelle and the ROE for all of that. I'm not sure if it made it into your packet, but if not, I'll make sure that Mr. Reader shares it for July. I have one suggested handbook change. As you know, we are combining the OGS handbook with the junior high and also trying to make sure that we kind of streamlined with the high school. And there was one thing on there, and it was in regards to the 8th grade graduation. Mrs. Grimm and Mrs. McKee, they really helped with this a lot. And so I had called both of them when I noticed there was a difference. The high school states in their handbook policy, and I hope I'm going to say it right, that you have to complete so many semesters at OHS in order to be considered for valedictorian and salutatorian. And I'd like to see that mirrored for OGS as well. That way, if you have someone move in May, who might have been homeschooled or whatever, we're saying that our curriculum is important. Our teachers support a lot into this, and in order to be considered, you have to complete so many semesters at OGS. So that is one thing that it's a slight change in language, but I felt like it was important to put in there. So I'll make sure that that's in July. That is all. I do want to give, this is kind of off, but my daughters play volleyball for Bismarck, and we were at a tournament at Seeger. And the Oakwood High School girls volleyball team was so incredibly respectful. They cleaned up after the meet without being told. They were just really, really great representatives of the school. And I mean, they didn't really see me being there as an administrator, but I was super impressed with our kids and our program. So.
Any questions from Ms. Acton? Thank you. Ms. Johnson cannot be here tonight. Technology, Mr. Richardson.
I'm just currently in the process of, after summer school's over, I'll be able to close out all the student data for this year, upload everything to the state, make sure everything's good, and roll everything over and start for next year. I need to wait for that for summer school for retentions and grades. The high school for them is waiting on grades for because they go through the online program. Federal government. Other than that, I'm just getting technology and devices ready for next year.
Any questions from Mr. Richardson? Ms. Lunt cannot be here tonight. Shiz.
Summertime's going. New people are keeping me busy. Lots of changes, but the changes I think are good for the community and the district. A lot of positive from all the new administrations, so that's good. And we're about halfway through the summer. Buildings are starting to come together. Some of the hallways are now starting to be done. So when you get hallways started, you're in good shape. A lot of teachers are wanting to get in. A lot of new teachers want to get in. So it's kind of hard to lock doors down, and they're trying to get in. So the staff's doing very well this year. Everybody seems to be getting along, doing things together. So I'm really happy to see that. We're doing a lot of little things this year. We didn't have a lot of big major projects. Larry touched on those. Some of those projects have started, some of them have not. The gym at the high school, hopefully next week to 10 days, it's back together so we can start using it. It looks really good. And some of the other projects are going. The parking lot at the grade school will probably shut down around the middle of July. So that information will go out because when we seal that, they'll do it all at once. So we'll have to shut it down. So I'll make sure that information gets out so that everybody knows when that's going to begin. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going forward, and I'll keep trying to keep everybody happy. So
Just want to, while I'm thinking of it, because I can't remember the last time we talked about it, I want to go back to with that pavement as it gets seal coated or striped.
it's going to have it will have the walkway to the playground in.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because we had talked about that months ago and then postponed it for this work. So I want to make sure we get that added in.
Yes, it's on the agenda to be done. And when we do that, there'll probably be at least one sign, if not two signs, that'll be put up along the school somehow. So when the traffic comes around, they'll be aware of the kids crossing. We're probably gonna lose maybe 2 parking spots out of the whole thing, but I think it's worth losing a couple parking spots. But yeah, it'll be on that agenda.
Any questions from the committees? Thank you, sir. Agenda item 10, need a motion to go into closed session, discuss the purchase or release of real property use of the district, including moving some of the purpose to discuss on particular parcel should be acquired. Motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Motion by Cotton, second by Ledbetter to enter a closed session at 6:15 PM. Vanessa,
Yes.
Ledbetter. Yes. Plattner,
Yes.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Yes.
Camera up for the team.
So we would just give folks a bit of, smell on the store.
Okay. Any motion to reopen open session at 7:26 PM? Second. Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Connor to re-enter open session at 7:26 PM. Ludwig? Yes. Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hicks? Yes. Dennis?
Yes.
Trevor over the three.
Agenda item 11, old business, the SRO update. Mr. Mayor, do you have an update on it?
Yes, I do. I apologize for the lateness here, but tonight we have Chief Soderstrom with us. Thank you, Chief, for being here. And we also, yes, sir. And we also have Mr. Troy Hogren. Okay.
Hey, everybody.
All right. So we've invited them to be here tonight. We have been in the process for several months. Well, probably since about November of 21, I guess.
It started right after that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And working together to move forward and secure an SRO as soon as possible. And we're at a good place right now where, from what I understand, the Oakwood Police Department has got Troy in a position where this is someone that you are recommending.
That is correct.
And then from that, as we've communicated, that Nicole Pennis and I had an opportunity to meet Mr. Hogren and have an interview as well. I think we share the mutual interest that Mr. Hogren is a candidate that we think would be outstanding for our school district moving forward as a student resource officer for all of our schools. So we're excited about that. So where we're at now is basically that is our intent, that we would have the final agreement together from the Village of Oakwood, which is a lease agreement.
Yes.
With the details on it
Yes.
firmed up. That obviously, as the village is negotiating with Mr. Hogren to get that finalized, when that process gets done, then they will then bring that agreement to the school board so that I would have it so that we could do an official action
Yes.
on July the 19th.
Okay.
Okay, but that is our intents moving forward, but we really can't do an action item
Right.
without that.
Well,
finalized.
the mayor's been in Texas on business and he doesn't get back, I think, till Friday, so.
Yeah.
We kind of had a little wrench put in the works.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have that back, but.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk to Mayor Wright about that as well. And it's just one of those things where it's good to have it on the agenda. Because then if the document's ready, you're good to go.
Good to go.
You can't add something to the agenda, but you can always table something until a
Yes.
later time. But I think just by the fact that you know that that was on the agenda, it kind of establishes the intent and support, I think, of our school district and the recommendation that I'm bringing to the board for Mr. Hogren. We were able to, Chief, thank you for bringing by yesterday information on resume and application, that kind of thing. I've shared that with the board, so they've had a chance, Mr. Hogren, to know a little bit more about you. And then after tonight's meeting, I'll make sure that I secure those documents, since it's personal information.
Yeah. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask anything you want to ask.
Yeah. So,
Or contact me in the future. Sometimes questions come up after, the fact, something pops in your head, I kind of like to ask him or her about this or that. And you can get my number from there. I can provide it to each and every one. You can call me. Open line of communication, ask me anything.
Ask.
Sounds good, sounds good.
How many years were you doing investigator?
Let's see. I gotta do some math. I believe it's 11.
11 years. You're 30, close to 30 years probably with them. Let's say.
27, I think.
Come with the wealth of
Work with
knowledge.
your uncle most of that.
Yes, you full of wealth, knowledge, and experience.
So, I mean, not to, like I say, I try not to be condescending and, brag or anything, because I'm not that way whatsoever. I feel very confident that I can assist the village and the school board as an SRO with just about anything you want to throw at me. And again, I'm not trying to be cocky or I feel very confident I can.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I know Mr. Pennis and I
You
are
too, everybody.
excited about the opportunity and we get this thing secured here
Yeah,
next
yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That's fine. Whatever it takes.
Let's keep moving forward, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've got him, he's in a position that once the document's secured, I can fast track him and get him up to speed. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Items 12, consideration action. Well, we have routine recommendation to approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield medical insurance renewal for the 23-24 school year. This will have a 5.88% increase as presented.
Nothing more to add. This is a great opportunity. Had a chance to meet the LEA and our insurance committee, so we all support that.
There a motion to approve the recommendation as presented?
So moved.
Second. We're all in a hurry.
Further discussion? Good. Wait, roll call, please.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Ludwig to approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield Health Medical Insurance Renewal as presented. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Motion carried by one vote.
Item 12B, we have another routine mention, recommendation to approve the district consolidated plan for fiscal year 24 as presented.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Woodard to approve the district consolidated plan as presented. Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 5.
Item 12C, we have another district recommendation to approve the ISB restraint timeout reduction plan amendment as presented.
Nothing more to add.
Motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Woodard to approve the ISBE restraint timeout reduction plan amendment as presented. Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 6.
Item 12D, we have another district recommendation to approve the transportation manual handbook as presented.
Had a chance to read through that, and that copy was in my office. Still in a hard copy, but I think that this is a good time to make sure that we have a good manual for our new transportation director, as well as our drivers moving forward. So I recommend that we approve this tonight.
Have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Ludwig to approve the transportation handbook as presented. Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
Agenda item 12E, we have another district recommendation to employ Roger Witt for the vacant position of the transportation director beginning July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. This will be a 12-month contract. He will be paid $47,000 as base salary and district provided benefits. Motion for the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Plattner to approve the employment of Roger Witt as presented. Excuse me, Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
12F, we have another district recommendation to approve 3% raises for all currently employed regular bus drivers for the 23-24 school year. This recommendation is for actual driving time only. Have a motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Woodard to approve the 3% raises for the current bus drivers as presented. Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
Agenda item 12G, we have district recommendation to approve the fiscal year 23 amended budget as presented. A motion for the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Janeski to approve the FY23 amended budget as presented. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 10.
Agenda item 12H, we have a district recommendation to approve the 3-year agreement for an SRO with the Village of Oakwood as presented. As discussed earlier, we are going to table that until we have that final agreement. Agenda item 12I, we have another routine recommendation for the 6-month semi-annual review of closed session meeting minutes to remain sealed. Discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under this act, whether for the purpose of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 2.06, and discussion of the destruction of audio recordings that are 18 months old, 5 ILCS 12/4/2 C21. I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Plattner, to approve the 6-month annual review of closed session minute meetings as presented. Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Plattner?
Yes.
Motion carried. Roll call vote 11.
Agenda item 12J, we have an Oakwood grade school recommendation to employ Jessica Lusk for the position of 3rd grade teacher for the 23-24 school year. This will be on step 6 of the bachelor's salary.
I highly recommend all of the candidates that we have on the agenda tonight for our budget, so. They're all wonderful.
I have a motion for the recommendation as presented.
Motion. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Woodard, seconded by Janeski, to approve the appointment of Jessica Lusk as presented. Woodard?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Motion carried. Roll call vote 12.
Agenda item 12K, we have an Oakwood grade school recommendation to appoint Madison Lee as a long-term substitute for the position of 8th grade science teacher for the 23-24 school year. Her daily rate of pay will be $203.22 per day. She's working towards licensure for teaching. A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Woodard, to approve the appointment of Madison Lee as presented. Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Motion carried. Vote carries.
Agenda item 12L, we have an Oakwood high school recommendation for Tiffany Bruins for the vacant position of high school secretary for the 23-24 school year. Her hourly rate of pay will be $15.03 and district benefits.
Yeah, I highly recommend her. We actually all took part in that interview committee.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Woodard, seconded by Hicks, to approve the employment of Tiffany Bruins as presented. Janeski?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
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 Motion carried. Roll call vote 15.
Agenda item 12M, we have an Oakwood high school recommendation for Carrie Baker as long-term substitute teacher for the vacant position of high school special education teacher for the 23-24 school year. This will be your second year in this position. Her rate of pay will be $203.22 per day.
This came as a recommendation from John Little.
Our motion to approve the recommendation is presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Plattner, to approve the employment of Terry Baker as presented. Ludwig? Yes. Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Motion carried. Roll call vote.
Agenda item 12N, we have an Oakwood grade school recommendation for Sean Billman for the position of 7th grade science teacher for the 23-24 school year. Sean will be on step 9 of the master's pay schedule, including district benefits. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call. Yes. Roll call.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Ludwig, to approve the employment of Sean Billman as presented. Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hicks? Yes. Janeski?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Motion carried. Roll call vote.
Agenda item 12O, we have an Oakwood grade school recommendation to employ Rebecca Carlton for the position of 6th grade teacher for the 23-24 school year. Rebecca will be on step 8 of the bachelor's pay schedule, including district benefits. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Woodard, to approve the employment of Rebecca Carlton as presented. Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes. Plattner?
Yes.
Motion carried. Roll call vote.
And item 12P, we have an open high school recommendation for Lucas Hushauer as the golf head coach position for the 23-24 season. He'll be on step 2 of the CBA extracurricular schedule.
I recommend, the shower for the head golf position for the 23-24 season.
Have a motion for the recommendation.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, second by Woodard, to approve the employment of Lucas Luciano as presented. Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Betts.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
Item 12Q, an open grade school recommendation employee Joey Smith for the position of 7th, 8th grade softball coach for the 23-24 school year. Joey will be on step 1 of the extracurricular pay schedule. Motion for the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Who is my second? Sorry.
Mr. Pluck.
That's me, yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
Motion by Hicks, second by Plattner, to approve the employment of Joey Smith as presented. Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
Agenda item 12R, we have an open grade school recommendation for Christy McGee as the head teacher for grades 7 and 8 for the 23-24 school year. This will be Christy's first year serving as head teacher. The stipend for this position will be $1,463. A motion to approve the recommendation. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, second by Woodard, to approve the employment of Christy McGee as presented. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
Agenda item 12S, we have an open grade school recommendation to employ Kelly Liggett in the position of cook for the 23-24 school year. Kelly will be on step 1 with an hourly rate of pay of $14.16 per hour in district benefits.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Hicks, to approve the appointment of Kelly Liggett as presented. Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
Agenda item 12T, we have an Oakwood grade school recommendation to employ Brycey Smith for the position of secretary for 8th grade. Brycey will be on step 1 with an hourly rate of pay of $15.03 per hour and district benefits 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Plattner, to approve the appointment of Brycey Smith as presented. Plattner.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 22.
Agenda item 13, new business.
Yes, I would like to read a statement here on behalf of the school board. The general comment, the topic of land acquisition, as a new business item. The school board has previously been discussing in closed session the possibility of land acquisition for the school district, land that is located within the district's boundaries. This is part of the school board's long-term strategic plan. The school board has directed Superintendent Maynard previously to explore opportunities on behalf of the school board in the school district. And he has presented those options to the Board of Education in closed session. Again, those are land opportunities within the district boundaries. So we anticipate the presentation of a recommended agreement from a seller for consideration at the August regular board meeting.
That's all I know. Mr. Mayor. Agenda item 14. We have a motion to adjourn at 7:46 PM. Our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, July 19, 2023, at 5:30 PM. Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Plattner, to adjourn at 7:46 PM. Smith.
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hicks. Yes. Janeski.
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yeah.
All